Hello, everybody. Welcome to Connections Realty Group and Friends. I have my friend Jordan Bailey with Home Inspections. No, Serenity Home Inspections. Y'all know it's early. Wake up with me. Okay, so we're here and we're going to talk about today. We're talking about home inspections. And Jordan, what I want to talk to you about today is who should get a home inspection. Now, we know people purchasing a home before they purchase, they should inspect. Y'all got that, right? But we also believe that sellers should get home inspections before they list their homes, right? And we believe that if you own your home, and we're going to weigh heavily on this today, you need to get your home inspected every so often. And we're going to talk about why. Before we get started, introduce yourself again for me, Jordan.
Absolutely. My name is Jordan Bailey. I own Serenity Home Inspections. I've been a certified inspector since 2011. The company has done a lot more, but I've personally done 6,000 inspections or so myself.
Wow. That's awesome. That's awesome. And so you're my guy, right? So let's talk about why should a seller get a home inspection? If they're going to
Absolutely.
put their house on the market,
Yep.
what would be the advantage or the benefits to getting a home inspection?
Absolutely. So sellers, um, you know, let's just assume that almost in every case, when you list your home, you get under contract, the buyer's gonna do their own inspection.
Absolutely.
Ideally, you wouldn't wanna be just surprised, like, taken back, something comes up, you had no idea, you had no time to prepare for. One thing to consider too, the longer the home is on the market, the more times it's gone under contract and come back off. If there is a
Absolutely.
major issue, these can all affect the bottom line and what it actually closes for in the end. Um, you know, as home inspectors, we can come, uh, do an inspection for you before you list it. It's going to enable you to uh, not only just not be surprised, but be able to actually prepare. We can say, hey, look, these are going to be the top concerns a buyer's going to have about the house. These are going to be things that are going to get brought up, are going to get requested, whether it's to have them fixed or to, contribute money in replace of, instead of having them fixed. It's going to come up during negotiation as long as the buyers pick a halfway competent inspector. These things
Absolutely.
are going to come up. So it really, you know, helps you prepare in advance instead of scrambling, while you're under
Absolutely.
contract. You can kind of prepare and you can either decide, okay, I'm going to address these top things so that they don't come up and are an issue during the inspection, or I can go ahead and make some type of concession, which is going to attract buyers, showing that I'm honest, I know the condition of my home,
Right.
and I'm willing to, contribute for these particular things.
And I want to say this as a realtor, right? You're absolutely right. Because if I'm working with you and we're going to list your house, we don't want the blind side. We don't want to go under contract just to scare the clients away once they get their inspection, right?
Mhm.
And now we're trying to save a deal, or people are so afraid they're going to
Mhm.
run away. Now we have to go back on the market, and now the house looks a certain kind of way, even if it wasn't a big deal.
Yep.
So at Connections Realty Group, we highly recommend if you're listing your home to have a pre-listing inspection to make sure, because when is the last time you've been up there and looked at your roof? All right. So we need a professional company, Serenity Home Inspections, that will do those things. Because people say, my house is great. Well, you haven't been in your attic lately. You
Right.
haven't looked at the roof. You haven't been under all of the cabinets and looked at the faucet. You don't
Mhm.
know the what is that thing, Brand? I keep calling you Brandon Jordan. What's that thing where you do the water pressure gauge?
Yeah, the pressure regulating valve. Yeah, that's something that comes up a lot is the valve that reduces the water pressure from the street to what it's supposed to be in the house, they go bad every 5 to 10 years, just depending on the situation. And A lot of people won't have any idea.
Right.
There's a lot of things that it's not just you may not frequently crawl under your house or crawl in the attic,
Yeah.
but also just there's a lot of technical education or knowledge that a lot of people just don't need and
Ab-
don't have.
Absolutely. So that's why we said, don't, when you're going to list your house, don't get so, oh, my house is great. Just get the pre listing inspection. I promise you, it will lessen your stress, right? And it
Mhm,
help you have more of a smoother transaction because you can get fixed what you need to be fixed and not have to go back around the other way. So
mhm,
we highly suggest those for our sellers. Now, Jordan, let's talk about people who are not buying or selling.
mhm.
And I see this a lot because what happens, I find, is that when we're going to list someone's house, they have done not much more than clean up
Right.
and maybe a service on the HVAC, and then they get this pre-listing inspection. It's like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know my furnace was acting like that, or whatever those
Mhm.
things are, right? So, why would you suggest, and what are some of the advantages and benefits to a person who just owns their home and don't, you shouldn't wait 10 or 12 years to find out everything is broke.
Mhm.
First, let me ask you this. How often do you think homeowners should get an inspection?
So, I mean, the ideal answer to that, like in a perfect world, you would get one yearly.
I think so too.
Now I would say at least every 3 years
Hmm.
minimum, just because around that time, you're getting close to, a lot of maintenance that needs to be done every 4 to 5 years on a house, and that's one of the biggest things that we see is when we do inspections, a lot of the costly items could have been prevented, to where you're only paying for normal maintenance if you do it regularly, but if you don't, it's gonna be 3, 4, 5 times as expensive,
Absolutely.
and sometimes you just don't even know you need to do it. You don't even
Right.
know it's, like, should be something on your list that needs to be done. Uh,
Absolutely. I agree. So, y'all, I want y'all to know it is very imperative. Like, really, it's like your car. When you hear the knocking and all those kind of things, right? If you're ahead of it, it's just a simple oil change.
mhm.
If not, well, let's talk about I only know brakes. You can just do brake pads, or now you got to do the brake pads and rotors. Like,
Yeah.
which one you want to do, right? So, it is very vital. And again, whether you own your own home, buying or selling, you do need an inspection. And for my regular homeowners, like I am, I want to start getting the inspection so I can be ahead before I have a major crisis. Okay. So, Jordan, any other information you would like to share? Because I know you do add on services outside the inspection. So, when people have like water leaks, they don't
Mhm.
know that mold is starting to grow.
Yeah,
So, what are some of the add-on features that services that you offer?
of course. So, um, you know, during a normal inspection when someone's buying, I'll generally look at the specific property and suggest to the client, "Hey, if I were buying this house, this is what I would do." And as far as a person that just owns a home and lives there, there's a few different things. One is just normal maintenance, like, "Hey, what should I do to keep my house in the best condition and prevent future expenses?" And then two, there are services that we can do, uh, after an event, after something that's going on. So, for one, let's say there's a leak. There's a plumbing leak, a roof leak, whatever the leak, this water intrusion in the basement. Um, Mold can actually start growing within 24 hours of a leak.
Okay.
And if it's not dried out properly right
Wow.
away,
Yeah.
you could have mold start to grow in the walls, in the ceilings, behind insulation, places that you can't see it. So one thing we offer is air quality testing in the house. We're going to suck in the air throughout the home to determine if there's any mold spores floating around in the air that you can't see. That's one example. Another is your sewer line, the main sewer line for the house. It's all underground. It goes from the house to either the street or the septic tank. It's a homeowner's responsibility. Most people don't ever think about it
Right.
until it backs up into the house.
Right.
And you're actually supposed to get it cleaned every 3 years. So we will do inspections in that to say, "Hey, are there just the tip edge of roots starting to grow in? And if you clean them out now, no problem, easy fix."
Is that even with county, city water?
Yes,
So
yes. Yeah.
there's something new every day because I did not know that.
Yeah,
Wow. I did not know that.
yeah. So during like a normal inspection, we'll check the plumbing in the home, the supply and the drain. But the drain that goes from the house, where all the fixtures in the house go to,
Right.
goes underground out to the street. Until it gets to the street, it's the homeowner's responsibility.
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. So definitely you'll have to go to the site because those are great things that we don't think about. We think about paying the mortgage, we
yeah.
live in there, we eat, we cook, we do whatever.
Mhm.
Um, but and I do want to say this, I think it's so imperative because I watch people when they go to sell their house, they have so much work to do
Mhm.
because they haven't been doing the other things the whole time where
Yeah.
it's least expensive. Now
Yeah.
you have this big bill. The other thing I want to say to that is when you were talking about, uh, preventive.
Yep.
What I love about that, if you think you're starting to have a problem before you have the HVAC guy, y'all know how we don't trust nobody because we think they're trying to sell us something extra, right?
Right.
So get an inspection so you have a little bit of knowledge
Mhm.
about, is it working properly? Is it because it's not cooling like for HVAC? Is it
Mhm.
because whatever? So then you feel a little bit more confident about what the actual expert is going to come and tell you,
Right.
right?
Yep.
So I think that's very imperative and it could be cost you thousands of dollars in some cases.
Yeah. I think that's one big benefit that not everyone thinks about, and by no means do I mean most people are dishonest. They're not.
Right.
But when you have someone coming to the house that has a profit motive to fix things, to replace things, to do work, to find something wrong, to get paid to fix it. We don't have that at all. We
Right.
are there as an unbiased party looking out for your benefit to tell you truthfully, is there an issue or not? It's funny because I've had that at my own house where I've had someone, come to just do a regular service. They have no idea what I do,
Right.
and then they tell me something, and I'm like, "No, I don't think that's right." And then I, go
Right.
check it and show them, like, "Oh, sorry about that." So, so
Yeah, and there's a lot of that going on. But again, and it's for your peace of mind as well. So guys, I want you to go to Serenity Homes website. And there's so much information there. Give them your information again, Jordan.
absolutely. SerenityHomeInspection.com, 770-335-2553.
All right. And we're going to flash that on the screen. And guess what? It's time for you to either go back to lunch or go back to sleep. All right. We're going to keep them coming. We love y'all. We're going to flash that information on the screen. Give our friends at Serenity Home Inspections a call today.